Hi there, it's David John, the Resourceful Coach, and what we're going to do today, I'm going to play a few holes. We're going to talk a little bit about my data, understand for me as a scratch golfer, as a professional golfer, what should be expected for me to do to play to that level, and use my data to sort of take the pressure off me. Okay, and that's the important thing. Realize I don't have to play perfect shots to get a good result. And the idea behind my data, everything about my data is distance related. I'm going to do a video probably next week, which will show you how the data, as you get closer to the hole, what's then expected of you. And what I've noticed through golf is the guys who've taken this on board and used the data to take the pressure off them, they've seen their handicap drop tremendously. And what I found with my own game is I'm not standing over the ball putting unnecessary pressure on myself to feel I've got to hit the perfect shot. And I always remember a quote by Jack Nicklaus: if he hit one perfect shot in a round of golf, he'd had a great day. So let's look at the data. We're standing here, we're going to play 5 holes. Okay, and we're standing here, which is actually the 11th hole at Corinthians Golf Club, and it's a 200-yard par 3. So it's a good par 3, and it's understanding for me as a scratch golfer, this is a hole I will par approximately 2/3 of the time. I will bogey it 1/3 of the time. And what would be an average shot from here would be if I could get the ball to within about 50 feet of the hole. Okay, so just because I'm a scratch golfer, it's a par 3, don't think I should be sticking this 10 feet from the hole. And the thing I always liken it to, if you go to somewhere in the UK, here we have the Open Championship, and you go to tournaments and you stand on a hole that's around 200 yards long, and you see one of the great players in the world put it on the green, the crowd claps that ball and goes, amazing. So as us mere mortals, even though I'm a professional golfer, you're a handicap golfer, realize that if you do that, that's an amazing shot. Why are you clapping him and not clapping yourself? So straight away on this tee shot, 200 yards, slightly into the wind today, so I'm going to take a forward here. I have a forward in my bag. And straight away, mentally, I'm thinking, God, if I can knock this on the green, that's amazing. But I don't need to. As long as I can get that ball up near the green, give myself a chance. Remember, 1/3 of the time, I'm going to bogey the hole. So straight away for me, it takes the pressure off me because I realize on average what I'm going to do on this hole. And I don't make it mentally any harder than it needs to be. So let's see what we do. We're going to hit the shots. We'll go find them, see what we get, play from there. As I said, play 5 holes, explain the data as we go along. And let's see what we do. So flag cut, front left edge. So playing around about 200 yards today. Okay, well, we're nicely on line. And as I said, remember, 50 yards away, 50 feet away would be a good shot. Watching the ball. And it looks like it's just off the back left edge of the green. Okay, so we get down there from within 50 feet. That's a par shot. That's what I should do. That's going to maintain my level. And that's the key thing. So mentally, I felt it was a good shot. I can see it's an okay result. I'm going to walk down there nice and relaxed, look at what we've got, and play the next shot. So I've come up to my ball. Let's just pace it out what we've got. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 paces. So we've put this ball within about 35, 40 feet of the hole. Okay, we've got a little bit of fringe to go over. It's about a par shot. I'd love to be on the green and have a putt. Thought it would have kicked down this bank. It didn't come down. It just held up there. But that's okay. All right. So straight away what we're talking about. Everything about this is to take the pressure off the next shot. And actually it's the thrill of executing the next shot. So while I'm up here, let's do my green reading method. And I'm looking at it and think, right, the green's going to come down this way. And it's quite a severe slope. Just watch the group play this hole in front of me. And a guy hit a lovely shot onto the front of the green. And again, exceptional shot because I know he's a 20-something handicap golfer and he's on the green. But he didn't see the slope. And I think he 3-putted it, unfortunately. So it's one of those things where you can look at it and it's quite severe. So this is a shot definitely now. I'm closer than average I would be, but it's quite a tricky shot. But I've got probably around about 5 paces of fringe. It's not the shortest at the moment. We're not to that stage of the year yet, but that would be good. So I'm going to look to loft it over that, but I've now got to get it to stop. But I expect it to come down this hill. So I'm going to play a little bit of loft because I need to get it to stop. But I'm sort of reading it now, looking at the slope, thinking if I can get it out here, let it drop down. Let's see if we can still make our 3, but probably from this position, it's still going to be approximately 1/3 of the time I'm going to get down in 4, okay? So going with a little bit of loft. Haven't got preferred lies now. And just see the shot. And it's just there. Just play the shot. That's all we're doing today. Where the shot ends up, we're playing it from. Again, because it's a little chip shot, I tend to do a couple of practice swings to get the feel. And now let's trust the idea. We've read the shot. Let's see what we can do. Oh, and it just needed to fly another couple of feet. So not a bad shot. But unfortunately, because I didn't give it enough to get over the fringe, it just caught that and killed it. Still within, what am I, 6 feet away? So not a bad shot. Okay, we'll take the flag out so you can see exactly what's going on. And now, if we again, I don't want to bore you with the data, but just explain. So I was about par with the tee shot. That's slightly below par. So this is now par. I'm probably only going to hole 40% of the time. So I've gone from now, likelihood now, I'm going to bogey this now 2/3 of the time from this position. Okay. So let's go through my green reading method. Low point is over here. I'm at the maximum break. 2 paces, roughly. I'd say this is a 4 slope. I think this is steep. So 2 times 4 is 8 to go into the side of the hole. I'm going to aim probably a hole and a half out to the right side. Maybe a little bit more. And just let it drop down. We can roll this in. We've got a 3. As we said, 4's not the end of the world. Okay, just hit it a little bit too hard through the break. You can see it going sideways at the end. We can see how severe that slope is. So got my 4. And the important thing is, because I knew on the tee box I would probably bogey that a third of the time, I'm not beating myself up. Yeah, I'd like to have done a little bit better with the chip and the putt, but I've given myself a chance, so that's okay. We can go to the next hole, stay calm. Bogeys are not going to ruin your scorecard. Let's go and play the par 4 12th. So we've come up onto the 12th tee, which is our second hole today. We're looking at a hole approximately 300 yards. Okay, so let's talk about my data. So this is a 3.8 hole. It means on average, if I play it 10 times, I'm going to par it 8 times, I'm going to birdie it twice. So there's a 20% chance I could birdie this hole. But you can see there's more chance I'm going to par it. Okay, it's only 300 yards. That everything in my data is developed around the length of the shot and then where you're playing the shot from. Okay, so looking to get the ball up to really the corner, give myself a chance then from there of having something like a wedge or something into the green. So I'm just going to take a hybrid. Don't need to hit my driver here. Get it into position. Ultimately, if I can get it into a position where I can have a wedge onto the green, then there's a good chance that I'm going to hit the green, get my 4, because I'll be close enough, hopefully, to putt it. Maybe an outside chance of getting a birdie, which could get the shot back we lost on the last. But I'm not over worried that I made the bogey on the last. I think that's the important thing. I've forgotten that. That's happened. Focus on this next shot. So that's following the hole nicely, unless I get a really bad bounce. That should do what we want. We should leave ourselves around about that wedge or some sort of wedge 9-iron into the green. Gives us an opportunity to maybe get that shot back. So I was really happy with the tee shot. Came down here, but we've been a little bit unlucky. We've just run off the fairway, only a few inches. But you can see from the picture, I'm in an old divot, okay? I'm exactly 100 yards to the flag. So let's just give you the data for that. For a professional golfer, 100 yards. I'm going to give you the data that I'm playing from the fairway because it's not that bad a lie in respects of how much grass is around the ball. This would be my average. I would be down in 3 shots. So I'm pretty much par to where I want to be. If I was going to be exact par, I'd probably need to be around about 60 yards from the green. But on this hole, if you try and go too cute, try and go too far, you can run out of room and end up in the trees. So I played the right shot. It's still, remember, 80% of the time I should par this hole. I'm now bang on making a par from this position. The lie might change that though. So I'm going to take, what I do in these situations, I always take a little bit more club. So I'm going to normally from here probably hit my gap wedge. Okay, but I'm going to take a pitching wedge. The flag is right at the back. So I know from that line, I'm probably not going to get as much backspin as normal. But on this particular hole, when it's on the back tier, you've got a bit of a bank behind it. So if I happen to get no spin on the ball, it might run up the bank and come back down to the hole. So I've got a couple of things in my favour. I just don't know how it's going to come out of this lie, okay? Ball is sitting on a slight sort of an angle where it's ball above my feet, but also slightly downhill slope. The downhill slope, because I'm going over a pond, is far more important. So I want to feel more weight on my left side to swing down and make sure I get a good connection. And again, with that lie, I want to make sure I'm hitting down, getting to the bottom of the ball. So everything we're doing here is very much around striking the bottom of the ball. So pitching wedge, straight at it. Let's see what we get. Well, it's online. It just depends if it came out of that lie pretty decent. Well, I think we've got that probably inside 10 feet. So because I looked at the lie, I took that extra club, swung it a little bit easier. I got the connection. It came out. It didn't really get a lot of backspin. It landed on the bottom tier, run up onto the top, and we got a really good result. So good chance to make that birdie, having made the bogey on the last hole. So we've come up onto the green, take the flag out, and we've got a much better result than it looked back there. As I said, I was happy to be within sort of 10 feet, and we're actually, well, let's look at it. If it's the length of my putter, we're about 3 feet away. Okay, now, again, one of my videos you watched before, the 2-minute tip, which is basically, if you're inside this distance, unless there's a tremendous amount of break, don't aim outside the hole. Keep it inside the hole. So I think it's going to drop that way. I'm just going to favour this edge. If it doesn't turn, it should get enough of the hole. If it does what I expect, it should go straight in the middle of the hole. Let's see if we can get that birdie and make up for the bogey on the first. Good, okay. So, because we just took the challenge of the shot, even though it wasn't a great lie, we were clear in our mind what to do, we committed to it, and got a really good result. Let's go play the next. So our third hole today is the 13th hole here at Corinthians. As you can see, going up the fairway, really lovely looking hole. Par 4 goes up, dog legs around to the left. We're looking at a hole around about, we're looking 350 yards. It is a bang on par 4 for a scratch golfer. This is a hole I should par pretty much most of the time. So it's a likelihood I'm going to birdie it 10-20% of the time, I'm going to bogey it 10-20% of the time and par it the rest. But on average, I'm going to walk off here with a 4. Okay, we're looking at a shot here, if we can do it, of around about, to get where I want to be, around about 200, 210. We hit a nice shot on the par 3, which was 200 yards, and we just went past the flag. So I'm going to use the same club. I'm going to use my fairway wood, my forward, and just look to get it up the fairway, give myself a chance to put it on the green with the next shot. You can see, hopefully on the video there, you can see the stripes. They stripe the fairways here, lovely. I just pick a stripe. I'm going to pick the third dark stripe across from there, and if I hit my shape, tiny little draw, should come back to the second stripe. That's the imaginary picture I've got. And again, look forward to playing that shot. That's the whole idea what we're doing. Should be in a good frame of mind. Just made a birdie. Let's keep the rhythm. Hit it like we did on the first hole we showed you. See if we can get a nice result. Tiny bit left of where I want to be, but it should still be on the fairway. Yeah, it's kicked out a little bit to the right. And I'd expect looking at that somewhere between a 9 and a 7 iron into the green. So I've done what I need to do, put it in play. Remember, this is a par 4. If I'm around that sort of 100 yards, that would be I've played a par shot. If I'm a little bit more than that, 120, 130, still a pretty good chance I'm going to par this hole from that position. So I've come up to where I've ended up. It's come a little bit off the bank here and kicked back into the middle of the fairway. So that's all good. I've hit that approximately 220. I've got about 130 left into the green. Slightly downwind. I can feel as I'm standing here now, I can feel the wind pushing into my face. Flags behind me. So probably would have been an 8 iron on a day like today for me. But I'm just going to take a nice smooth 9 iron, let the wind take it up there. As long as I strike it and get it airborne, should do the work for me. Just to give you the data, remember it was a par 4, exact par 4 from 350. We're now looking at about 3.1 from here. So at 130 yards. So it's a shot now from here. I should still par it 90% time. There's a 10% chance I'll probably bogey from this position. But that's still okay. So what I do with that data, because I'm within 0.1 of where I want to be, I look at it and go, well, that's fine. That's about where you should be. And I'll back myself to think if I can get this next shot on the green, that gives me a good chance. Okay, you can feel, you probably hear that wind on the mic really picking up as I'm about to play this shot. So importance now, just stick to the process. I'm about where I should be. Let's make a good swing. Okay, just push that slightly. Okay, well, this is what we said. We're going to find out what we get. That's not my best shot. It happens. And we'll tell you the data when we get there. You'll be quite surprised how that one bad shot is really going to affect what I'm expected to do now on this hole. But it happens, and that's golf. And because, again, I'm not stressed out about it, I'm not going to get frustrated. I'm going to look at the next challenge of the next shot. But you'll probably see my data will show I'm now probably looking at making a bogey on this hole just because of that one shot. But okay with that. Let's go and see what we've got. So I've come up to where my second shot finished, and it got what it deserved. I've missed the green, and let's just give you the data. I'm in some light rough. I've got around about 20 yards to go to the hole. On average, I'm going to get this in the hole in 2.8 shots. So basically, I'm only going to get this up and down about 20% of the time. On average, I'm going to get down in 3. So you can see what's happened through the hole. We started at an average of 4, it went to 4.1 roughly, and now we're up to 4.8. And that's because that shot wasn't the best. But it's only costing me a shot. It's not the end of the world. And what you can't do is think, well, I should be scoring this. You've got to start thinking, what's the best result from here? I'll take a 5 from here. If I make a 4, that's a massive bonus. Okay, we've got the bank in front. We've got around about 15 feet of green to play with before the flag, and we've probably got 25 feet of green behind. The one thing I want to make sure is I'm on the green. I'll back myself to 2-putt it. You never know, I might hole that putt from 20 feet. The last thing I want to do here is try and be cute and end up trying to land it, then it rolls back to my feet because I've just wasted a shot. So I'm going to play a pitching wedge here. It's not a bad lie. It could have been a lot worse. I'm going to play a little bit off my back foot. So I'm turning it a little bit into like a 9 or an 8 iron. And I'm just looking to hit it halfway up the bank firmly. And then it should bump up onto the green. That's the shot that I'm looking for. Anything here, what would be a par shot from here? Around about 15 feet would be a par shot. And that's okay. I'm only going to hold 20% of my 15 footers. If I could achieve that, brilliant. So again, that's what I'm looking to do. That's why my data works so well. Okay, so it's just gone past the hole. I bet we have left about 15 feet. So the second shot is what's cost me. Don't compound the problem. I've given myself a chance still to get out of here with a 4. Let's see if we can do it. So let's look and see what we've got. Take the flag out so you can see everything. And what do we say? 15 feet would have been a good shot. And we've left ourselves around about 1, 2, 3.5 paces. So we're looking around about 9, 10 feet. So that's a better shot than average. And what that's done for me is just reduce that chance. Now I might still get out of here with my par, but I'm still looking 70% chance I'm going to miss this. And that's the big thing to understand. We've talked about this plenty of times before. The guys on tour who are winning are holing half of these. I'm a professional golfer. I'm not making 2 million winning a tournament. I'm just average golf pro at a golf club. I'm not going to hole this every time. But let's go through our green reading method because I know I can hole it. Let's give it a go. So low point is definitely running down here. Seems a little bit more than average slope. So I'm going to call this a 3% slope. And I'm probably coming now from around about 8 o'clock. So we're roughly 3 paces. 3 times 3 is 9. And it's going to be about 3/4 of 9. So we're looking around about 7 inches of break. Golf hole is 4 inches across. I want to come into the top here. Probably this top half, so I'm going to go 7 inches from there, so about 1.5 holes outside. That's my thought. Okay, and all I'm going to do, trust that idea, commit to it. Let's see what we got. So I've got my line, I've picked a spot. Let's see if we can get out of here with our par, which will be a great result after that second shot. Got a chance. Brilliant. So, really happy with that. Obviously quite disappointed with the second shot, but because I didn't beat myself up about it, I then played a nice steady pitch shot onto the green, gave myself roughly that 9-10 footer, rolled it in, still got out of there with my 4. So I just did it in a different way. I made up with it with my short game. My second shot wasn't the best. But previous hole, I'd hit a wedge to what? 3 feet. So it was really good. So here at our penultimate hole, we're level par. We're in good spirits after making a good putt on the last hole to save my par. We're now on a hole, it's the 14th, it's 428 yards long. This is a little bit like the long par 3 we had at the start. This is a hole, it's a 4.3 hole. It's a hole I'm going to average bogey at a third of the time. So again, for me, that takes pressure off me. I don't suddenly think 428, I've got to make par. Realise that on average, I will make some bogeys on this hole. Okay, we're looking at a shot. It's sort of dogleg hole here where you've got to hit it sort of 200 yards or so first shot, and then a dogleg round to the left, a further 200 down to the green. Plays a little bit shorter than that going down the hill because of the firm ground that we're now getting. Now we're in May. But it's now just seeing that shot. You can see quite a claustrophobic tee shot. If you've watched my video on make the sort of the aim small to make the target big, look at that. So I'm picking out a tree in the distance. I'm looking at that trunk, and that's where I'm aiming. Just going to trust my swing, go through. Nice and smooth, get it on the fairway, you're giving yourself a chance. Yep, down the middle left. By going that way, should follow the hole nicely. Well, the firm ground now that we are getting, we haven't had rain here in the UK now, or decent rain, for probably about 6 weeks. So that could take the slope run down. As I said, I might have 200 yards in. I think I'm only going to have probably about 150 into that green. So taking advantage of the conditions. But the main thing there, I took the pressure off myself because I knew I could make a bogey. It's not the end of the world. So you can see how all of the time I'm using the data, not to think, oh, I've got to do this. I'm actually using it the other way to take the pressure off myself. And then let's see what we can do as we go down this hole. We're level par, we're doing well. That's about where we should be at this point after 3 holes. Let's see if maybe through the next couple of holes, which are both over 400 yard par fours, see what we can do through these last 2 holes. As we said, tee shot was really good, really happy with this. We've got 168 left. That's 3.2 from here. So we've just gained a little bit. We're now sort of 20% chance we're going to bogey it, whereas on the tee we said it was about 1/3 of the chance. So slightly better than average tee shot. Flag is right at the back of the green. So looking here, fly it all the way up there. It's all uphill when you hit the green. Problem is golfers look at this hole and it's all downhill to get to the green, but then the green sits back towards you. So if you've got the ability, when you're playing this hole, which is the 5th or 14th here at Corinthians, land it all the way up there. Get it up there. Again, a little bit like the shot I played over the water on our second hole. A little bit of weight more on my left side. Stay with the slope. Strike it. It's on line. Just see if we've got the right club. Just tailed a little bit on the wind. But because we chose the right club and we got it up there, we're probably somewhere within about 15, 18 feet of the hole. So from the tee, that's now well ahead. We've probably gained about half a shot. So that's really good. So let's see if we can get a birdie on this hole. But remember, if we make a par, we're still gaining on what on average we should do. So I'm on the green of our 4th hole. Let's take the flag out, see what we can see. And I'll do my green reading method as we're here, just to go through it. I'm probably about 20 feet away. So just to put that in perspective, that's pretty much an average 2-putt for a scratch golfer. So it's one of those situations where, yeah, I've gained about 1/3 of a shot. If on average I do what I'm meant to do, there's probably only about a 5% chance I'm going to hole this putt. But let's see if we can. Let's go through the green reading method to give us a chance. I feel the low point is running down here. Okay, if I took a ball, I think that's going to be a straight uphill putt. I'm putting from approximately, this would be 6 o'clock. I'm putting from about 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock is my maximum break. 9 and 10 are always maximum breaks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 paces. Okay, so 9 paces, we are looking around about 22 feet. So what we said. So 9 paces, it's quite a bigger slope here than average. So it's a 3 slope. So 9 times 3 is 27. So we're looking at 27 inches of break. A hole is about 4 inches across. So we're looking around about 7.5 to 8 hole widths out here. Got to get it out here. And then it's going to turn down that hill at the end. Okay, because I'm coming from 10 o'clock, it's going to be fractionally downhill. Think of a clock face. It's slightly above the center of the clock. But now I've got to pick that spot out to the side. Find something on the green, a line where you think, yep, if I get that, so we can roll this down nicely. Yeah, I think I like the line. Just a little bit firm, okay? So balls ended up pretty much in line with where I started, so I know the green read was good, but I just hit it a little bit too firm. Because it's gone a little bit further past than I'd like, I've got to take a little bit of time here. Still the low point hasn't changed, it's here. Okay, I'm putting now from about 4:30, and we're looking at just over a pace. So if I'm looking at that, I'm now thinking, right, let's say 1.5 paces, that's 4.5 inches is the maximum break. If I was coming from 3 o'clock, 4:30, we're looking at around about half that. So we're looking really just outside the right lip. Nice and firm because we're coming slightly up the hill. Let's see if we can get our par. So again, because I stuck to my process and my green reading, even though that first putt was a little bit fast, I didn't get away from that. I stuck to it. I trusted it because I knew the read on the first one was good. We got out of there with a par. We've gained about a third of a shot. We're a little bit ahead of the game for the holes that we're playing today. Let's go and play our last hole. So here's our final hole. Forgot we were playing the back nine. So this is the 15th at Corinthians. It's a 370 yard par 4, so it's a bit shorter. The 6th hole is nearer 420. So that plays similar sort of data to the previous hole. But on this occasion, it's a hole we're going to par probably 90% time. We're going to bogey it about 10% of the time. Okay. Now, it's a par 4. If you come up here and play it, if you're not the biggest of hitters, the best way to play it, go out to the right of where I am, and then you can play it up and play the hole that way. And again, play it as a par 5. It's quite a tricky hole. It's got a pond up the left side, but if you have got the distance, that's an asset on this hole. You can carry a lot of the trouble here and get yourself into the fairway, and you could leave yourself, because you're going to cut the corner a little bit, you can leave yourself then probably around about 100, 120 yards into the green. So it's sort of knowing your ability and knowing what you can do. Now remember what I said, if we're about 100 yards away, 100, 120 yards, that's an average par 3, in a sense 3 shots for me for a scratch golfer. So I want to get it if I can in that area. So again, I'm picking my line, going straight over this tree you can see ahead of us. If I hit it nicely, it should carry the trees up ahead of us. Just a solid strike. That's all I've got to do. Trust myself. Let's see what happens. So it's on the line. Remember, there's a little bit of wind out here today, so as long as we've carried those trees, which we have, we're on the fairway, we've given ourselves a good chance. So first job done. Let's see what the data says when we get there. Was that a par shot? Have we gained a bit? Have we lost a bit? But we're in the fairway, so pretty good opportunity to get this ball close to the hole and maybe get a birdie on this hole. So we've got a last shot into the green, okay, that we're playing today, our 5th hole, and we've got exactly 120 yards, slightly into the wind, okay. So what I'm going to do here, I'd normally probably, as I said, 110's my wedge sort of distance. So this should be a comfortable 9-iron for me, but I'm actually going to take an 8-iron because of the wind. And I'm just going to play what I call a 3/4 shot. I'm just going to hit it nice and committed, but not hit it too hard. Okay, and that's the key thing. Just to take a bit of spin off the ball. The harder you hit the ball, the more spin you'll put on it, the more it will affect it. So I'm taking one more club, hitting it a little bit softer, and see if that gives us the result we want. As with a lot of shots, a little bit downhill lies, I'm just putting a little bit of weight on my left side. Trust myself. Nice smooth swing. Well, I like the line. It's just whether we've done the right shot. And it's just gone, well, it's still on the green, but it's towards the back. So maybe just felt, actually now, looking at it, the wind suddenly dropped. So that ball didn't have any wind to go through. And that's why I've gone to the back of the green. You can't do anything about that. Don't be annoyed by it. It's one of those things. It's probably now feeling it's the calmest it's been the whole time we've played all these holes. So a little bit unlucky, but it's the thrill of the next shot. Can I get it up and down? Can I get out of here and shoot level par? I'll take that today. So we've got to the green. Remember what we said on the tee, this is a hole I should par 90% time, 10% time I should bogey it. So what would be a par position after 2 shots? About 35 feet. Let's see what we got. Let's get rid of the flag. Go through what we've got. We're going to go through my green reading method while we do this. So let's see what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 13 paces. So we're looking around about, 33, 34 feet. So we're about par. So we gained a bit off the tee. We're a little bit unlucky there with the wind. It didn't do what we thought it was going to do, but that's okay. So I'd still back myself as a professional golfer to 2-putt this, and a par's a good score. I'll take it. But let's go to work on reading the green. Let's see if we can get up here with a birdie. So low point running here. If I had a straight putt, that's the straight uphill putt. We're coming from the maximum break. Pretty much, this is 6 o'clock. I'm coming from 3 o'clock. I'd say it's about an average slope. So it's not going to do too much. And we had, 13 paces. So 13 times 2 is 26. Okay, now we've got the hole width. We're looking at that. And hole width is 4 inches. So we're talking about 6.5 hole widths, okay? Just as I've done that, leaf has landed on my line. So again, little things like that. If it gets in your head, get rid of it, okay? Because you may not then put your best stroke on it. Because I'm putting from around about 3 o'clock, It's not really uphill or downhill. It's coming across the hill. So I'm looking at a point nearly 7 hole widths to the right of the hole. Found that spot. And now it's just about getting the speed right. See if we can do that. Let's get out of here. 2 putts, I'll take it. Shoot level par. Really happy with that. Decent stroke. Oh, I just didn't hit it hard enough. Okay, well, I think I worked so much on the line, I just came up a little bit short on the length of putt. We're only looking at a pace now, so our rules, don't get outside the hole. It's a right lit putt. Keep it inside the hole, nice and firm. There we go. So we achieved what we set out to do. We got our par on that hole. And if we look back at the 5 holes that we've played and we break down those holes, we look at it, the first 2 holes, sort of look at it was a 3.3 hole followed by a 3.8 hole. So I should get through those holes roughly level par. I had a bogey, I had a birdie. We've then parred the next 3 holes, but their average were 4, 4.3 and 4.1. So overall, we're about half a shot ahead of the game through those 5 holes. Okay, so if I played those holes regularly, one time I'd come through like today, level par, another time I'd come through 1 over par, and that's okay. But hopefully what you saw was I didn't get frustrated, especially with that second shot into our 3rd hole that we played, and I missed the green. I only had a 9-iron in my hand, and I missed the green. But because I stayed calm, I knew what was okay. What I ended up doing then was hitting a really good chip and then hold a nice 8 to 10 foot putt to save my par. And it just keeps your mind clear in what you're looking to do. If you get frustrated, you don't think clearly. So I hope you've enjoyed that. That's going through 5 holes. We've talked a little bit about my data. We've talked about how realizing after each shot, I'm still okay, I'm still doing all right. Out of those holes, one or 2 poor shots, but in general, they were okay. 1 really good shot where we stuck that wedge to about 3 feet. And it sort of evens itself out. If you stay calm, it allows your ability to work. If you've enjoyed those 5 holes, there's a couple of my videos out there showing you me playing 9 holes. Go and watch them. If you like the idea of the green reading method, please watch the green reading videos. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please share it with your friends, subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you soon.